Hey, what is up everybody? This is Stevie Breech coming to you here today. A really quick, short video for you guys today. This honestly is not even news because I know most of you guys have been going over and checking out WrestlingDVDNetwork.com. My favorite guys ever since way back in the day. WWE DVD News, Wrestling DVD News. I messed the name up 1,000 times over the past, but because I'm so excited about Coliseum home video coming to the WWE Network, I made sure I got it right this time. And basically, when I was a kid, way back in the day, I had a bunch of these tapes, just like everybody else. You know, like with my dad, his story was he had all of these baseball cards and his mom threw them out. Honestly, when it comes to me, I just hit this phase where when it came down to it, if it wasn't on DVD, I didn't want it anymore. And I took all my old VHSs, all my movies, all my episodes of South Park, all my wrestling VHS tapes. I took them to the used CD store and they bought them. I got out, honestly, at the right time. Because now VHSs, when it comes down to it, you got the right tape, you find the right person, you can sell it for some good money. But if you just take it to a DVD store or something like that, they're going to give you like 10 cents for each tape. And that's just the way the world works today. But basically, yesterday, I went over to WWEnetwork.com and they had uploaded probably what looked like about 20 to 25, maybe 30 of the old Coliseum home videos. These things were awesome back in the day. I remember, you know, honestly, heading on over to Tower Records, which would have a video store inside of it. And old school back in the day, you know, those old clamshell WWF tapes that you see Gemini showing in his old videos, the best of the British Bulldogs, the history of the Intercontinental title. I'm trying to think of some more of those old tapes. Those tapes were fucking expensive. You go to buy one of those tapes in the store, they were going to run you about $60 to $75. But you could rent those suckers for like $4 a day, and you can watch those old pay-per-views. To me, my best memory of Coliseum home videos is when they got a little bit cheaper around the 90s. This is when basically WWF would sell the Coliseum home videos to sort of like, where I'm from here, they were called Long's Drugs. I don't think they're around anymore. But, you know, just local drugstores. And you could go in there and they would have a setup of VHS tapes for sale. And normally, if I remember right, if it was like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, if this was like a pay-per-view event, those tapes would, I think, would be like $15 or $20. But there would be a new monthly release, whether if it was something like Smack'em Whack'em, you know, Mega Matches, World Tour 93, the best of Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Tapes like that were just sort of like, we don't have to put any work into it, let's just like slam it out and put it out and bam. Those tapes were like 10 bucks. I had more of those tapes than I had anything else because, you know, they were cool. And, you know, they would have gimmicks where like they would have matches. They would be called Viewers Request. And they'd be like, hey, what would happen if Earthquake had a match against Hercules? And they'd be like, wow, let's put that match on a house show. We'll shoot it and we'll put it on the next Coliseum on video. And, you know, there was no fanfare behind these matches, but it was just like, what if these two big dudes win at it? And they would just go out there and do it. Since Sean Mooney has got his own podcast over on the MLW network, he's been talking about putting a lot of these tapes together, just shooting stupid skits with Lord Alfred Hayes where they would try and to put everything together. Sean Mooney was one of the main guys on here, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon. In his short 1-year period, this is something that Tony Schiavone has talked about, and Tony Schiavone is very open to saying that he wants to come back and work for WWE to put more of these together for the network. He worked on Coliseum home videos. He says one of the best ones that he ever produced was the best of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I'm really pumped about these, and I went over and I was scooping through everything. Probably the one tape that I remember more than anything else was the Smack'em Whack'em, which featured a a group of matches from Bret the Hitman Hart. The biggest thing about this tape was it had 2 Bret Hart matches on it. One was the never-seen match of Bret beating Ric Flair for the WWF Championship. They did a few of these title changes during this time period where I think they were only released on Coliseum home video, whether if it's Diesel beating Bob Backlund. I think that Ric Flair won the championship back from Randy Savage on one of these. But Basically, they filmed this match, I think, for primetime wrestling, and Vince did not like the match so much, mainly the Razor Ramon run-in, you know, he just didn't like the match, so they never showed the full thing on TV. So you had to buy this tape in order to get it. And the other thing is that Bret the Hitman Hart had always talked to Vince McMahon about bringing the ladder match to WWF, the ladder match that we would not see until WrestleMania 10, which would be Shawn Michaels against Razor Ramon for the 2 Intercontinental Championships. But on this tape, you see the first ever ladder match. I believe it came from Portland, Oregon, and this was the only way to see this match, unless you were at that house show, was Shawn Michaels against Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship in the first ever ladder match, where Bret brought the ladder match from Calgary Stampede Wrestling. So honestly, head over to the network, check these out. I'm sure that Jem's making videos about this. I'm sure that if you go over to WWE DVD Network, I'm sure they're writing up reviews on these things. I am honestly going home after work today and watching at least 3 of these. So please look forward to me making some videos about these in the future. I can tell you right now, you want my request, go watch that Smack 'em Whack 'em tape, because that's what I'm watching first.